Have you ever felt overwhelmed by just the amount of things that you have to learn as a creator? Many of us think that we can learn and apply everything as soon as we learn it, but the reality on YouTube is the exact opposite. And I just want to talk about why you cannot do everything at once as a creator and how to actually manage your growth to be effective in the future. So the first thing you have to do is understand that there is way too many things that you have to learn. There is just too many things to learn for you to be able to learn everything and apply everything. And if you feel like you can learn everything and apply it and be successful within a year, then when you don't see the instant success and when you're not able to do that, you're gonna feel discouraged. Because as a creator, you're gonna encounter all these different techniques. Because I remember at the start of my journey, I had all these things that I wanted to try out, but slowly but surely I realized that I could not implement them all at the same time. So when I started to realize that, and I saw that I wasn't growing and applying and learning all these things as fast as I wanted to, I started to feel a little bit discouraged. You have to understand that learning all these new things and trying to master all these skills is going to take time and deliberate practice. You have to try to continue to tell yourself that you cannot master everything at once and try to focus on that incremental progress. Because if you set realistic standards, then you're gonna stay motivated throughout your whole journey. So the second thing you have to do is try to prioritize for testing and applying. So being able to test and apply all these different things that you're learning is going to be the key to you succeeding on YouTube. Because you have all these new techniques, all these new methods that you want to try out, and you cannot try those out unless you are testing and getting videos up. The more videos you get out, the more opportunities that you give yourself to try out new things. But also all of these things that you're learning are going to slowly deteriorate in your mind if you do not put them to use. So if you want to actually be able to learn these things, what you have to do, and one of the best ways to actually learn stuff, is to have it be recalled in the future after you've learned it. So it can be 1 week or a month, but putting out these videos and being able to have to recall it in your mind of what you've actually learned is actually going to help you learn all these things for the long term, because it turns every single video that you put out into an actual testing ground for all these new strategies. And it allows you to try out all these different things to find what you actually like to create, but then also what actually works for you and what actually your audience likes. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is try to be consistent to give yourself these opportunities to try out all these new things, but then also have a willingness to try out these things and look pretty stupid for a little bit. And lastly, just try to understand that every single thing you're learning will have a right timing. And what I mean by that is do not try to force difficult things right now, or try to force difficult things that you're learning that you aren't really able to apply yet and that you aren't ready to apply yet. Because when the time is right, you will actually be able to put those things to use. But if you try to put it to use now, you're gonna start to feel discouraged because you're just not ready for that. It might be too difficult, or it might just not be the time where you can actively apply it to something. Because I remember at the start of my journey, I would learn about business and marketing, and I would see that and have these big realizations in the middle of a library, and I thought it was going to change everything. But then a couple weeks would go by, and then a couple months would go by, and I noticed that I wasn't really able to apply that stuff. And I started to feel a little bit discouraged because I would start to think that those things were going to waste, or that big realization that I had didn't really matter. Because now I realized that I had to focus on making the best possible videos, but also I now realize that in the future, I'll be able to bring those things that I've learned about business and marketing back after I've mastered creating the best possible videos. So it's not that those things went to waste, I am just not able to put them to use yet, but I will in the future. So we just have to focus on mastering the foundational skills that are going to build a foundation that you can build on top of. And after you build those foundational skills, you'll be able to put all the advanced skills into that. They'll slowly start to show where you can add them and why you should add them. And it's just going to help you build up that confidence for the next time that you actually have to learn something, because you're going to know you can learn anything. It just takes time. And just try to trust that the time will come for every single thing that you've learned. You just have to focus on what you can control right now, because it all just revolves around understanding that we cannot do everything at once as creators. But also as creators, you probably watch a lot of YouTube also. So if you want to find out how to actually make that productive and not spend your time on YouTube watching brain rot, then go ahead and click on this video right here.